Limber. Limber?
Wow.
All right. You gotta go. Oh, limber. Don't play.
Oh, goose.
All right.
Oh, what a goose I am. Oh, what? Oh, goose. Oh, what a goose I am. Oh, what a goose. Oh, what a goose. Hey, everybody. We are with who? Scott Crowe from Keep On Reefing. I'm gonna do it for him. Woo!
What's happening, guys? I'm Scott Crowe from Keep On Reefing. We're here for Max Out Aquatics. Max Out Aquatics is an advanced filtration media company.
Max Out.
One of the things is Brian, like from Tank It Easy, is massive service company, right? Bringing you everything they need for services and keeping your tank water as clear as possible. It's all about crystal clear aquariums. So what Max Out Aquatics is advanced filtration media. We have 4 product lines.
Advanced Filtration Media. Where can I open this?
Yeah, go ahead. Go right for it.
What we have here is what a service guy really enjoys. You know what that is? It's prepackaged. It's already ready to go. You don't need to have a little funnel. You don't need to rinse, and you might have to rinse something.
No, you don't have to rinse that one. It's already, put it right in.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's right in. All right, so what we want to do is be in and out as quick as possible. Why? Because we have a lot of accounts to hit. So the idea of anyone having something that's already ready to go is wonderful. You might think, let's save the planet, let's have a big container of things that we like bucket and scoop ourselves. The problem is there's a lot of waste when you miss. And these little granules everywhere, they get into everything. They get into your clothes, they get into your shoes, they get on the driveway, they get on the sidewalk, they get into a bathroom, and then you find yourself having to clean a lot of things that you didn't want to clean. You came there to clean the fish tank, but instead you're cleaning bathrooms and kitchens and wherever water lives. So, anytime, we're gonna get to the science behind this, but anytime it's already in a bag, we're winning. So bag, in a container, so it's not gonna get wet when it's with a bunch of other wet stuff. So for a service company, we're already starting in the right direction. I can't wait to hear the science, but right now, packaging alone, I'm happy so far. I'm happy so far. Now, next phase. So what is inside this bag? What is the situation that my service tech is running into where we need to use this?
So this one right here, this is the Max Out. This is the OG. What this is a lab grade carbon, and then we also have a scavenger resin in it. This here is done with a gel versus a microbead. The gel's really cool because the gel can actually hold 30% more. So that's the OG formula, which is great for just everyday maintenance. So if you're changing out your filtration media once a month on top of it, keeping your tank crystal clear, that is the OG. That's one of the best ones to go to.
And this one would be swapped out, let's say in a reef tank. How often?
I like to say once a month. You could go longer, but really to keep your tank clean, you want to do once a month.
So once a month, whether it's a do-it-yourselfer or one of my techs, what we're supposed to do is go in, grab this, toss it, and drop in a new one. What is this retail for?
This one right here goes for $18.99.
So $18.99. So $18.99 will cover you for 30 days. Is that fair?
Yeah, perfect.
So 20 bucks to have 30-day rotation. Maybe you could save a couple bucks by bagging a different material, but let me tell you, the cheaper stuff, there's granules everywhere. Most sink basins are white. You know what people hate? Is you put carbon all over them and make them kind of a darker tone. The cleaning people will hate you. Everyone will look at the bathroom and see, oh, look at all that black stuff everywhere. The fish guys were here. Is that how you want to be remembered? I sure don't. We give people the white glove treatment, and the way we have to do that is by going above and beyond to make sure it's like a campsite. It's got to be cleaner than when we found it, right? If we're being respectful. It's the same thing when you're in someone's home or office. So, step 2, it is cleanable. It's already cleaned, so I don't have to pre-rinse this stuff on location to activate it. That's a big win. Okay, now you mentioned it's carbon and
scavenger resin.
Scavenger resin.
Yeah, to really take those impurities out of the water.
So what is a scavenger resin? Because right now it sounds like a cartoon character, like with a cape or something. Like who is
scavenger resin for Halloween 3 years ago.
Yeah, what do you mean for Halloween? I'm gonna be scavenger resin.
The scavenger resin, it takes out a lot of the impurities inside the water. It's a gel that actually absorbs. It almost works like the best way I can describe it. It kind of reminds me of like a protein skimmer in a bag. It's a phosphate. It's a resin, the gel resin that can actually absorb impurities that you just want, organics that are just in the water to take them out of the column. And what I really like about having that in a bag is you can just put it in the main water flow. I love reactors, but when you're a service tech, it takes more time on a reactor versus just putting it in.
And talking about reactors real quick, I love them and they're kind of like a standard for a lot of reasons, but there are applications where you need to use different tools.
Yeah.
For example, if you have a custom tank that has a limited sump, not a very large sump because of design, you might not want to be able to fit your classic tube reactor inside the sump, and sometimes when they hang on the outside of the sump, what you're doing is you're bringing a potential leak or water outside of the tank into play. What's nice about this is it goes directly in there and you take that all out of play. You have to have a quick fix or something's happening. Let's say things are cloudy right away in your bucket, in your your bag of toys, you could pull this out and slap it right into the sump, and all of a sudden everyone remembers that you saved the day, not necessarily that you had explained, oh, sorry, it's not time yet, I have to go back and run and make sure I have the thing and mess up your sink. It's not a quick run if you have to go into the bathroom and make 20 other trips back and forth. If you can do it right away, one and done, that's a winner for me. So I'm excited to use this, to try it out. I haven't tried it out, full disclosure, but so far, in a bag, in a container, separate, pre-rinsed, and with that generous helping as well. Because a lot of times I've seen containers that are cuter and smaller and maybe even less expensive, but this is a generous portion. So let's say, what size tank would you recommend this for?
60 gallons.
60 gallons.
Yep.
So if you're doing 120, two.
Yeah.
It's that simple. Grab another one, pop it in there. That's brilliant. Now the sacks themselves, if you were to choose, you could take it and lose the stuff and use it for something else.
Yeah, I mean, you could run that in a reactor, take it out, but it's just a lot easier in the sack because, like you said, drop it in. That's what we always say.
But I'm saying after it's done.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
After it's wasted and done,
correct.
you could, if you were a do-it-yourselfer and you wanted to make sure that you got the full life out of it, this is a very nice nylon set, right? So you can snip the zip tie and reuse it in some way, shape, or form, either out of desperation or out of at least, you're not just getting the material, you're also getting a quality pouch that you could use for other things. If you're a do-it-yourselfer and you want to use it for other things, it's kind of nice that this is something that you could reuse. So this was Max Out. Let's talk about real quick Slime Out.
Slime Out. This is actually really cool. This is cyanobacteria treatment. All right, so when we get into cyanobacteria, we do different medications, things like that.
We all do it. Every service company in the world, you have to deal with using an antibiotic. It can sometimes, you're measuring, you're doing different things. I'm excited about this. Tell me more.
Yeah, so antibiotics still inside in here to take out cyanobacteria. The question is the aftermath. We always have an aftermath.
Real quick, what are the colors that you've seen of cyanobacteria?
Red and green.
Red and green. It's a fast-acting tank destroyer. Okay, you can clean it. We can have a service tech every week come out, every other day come out, and it's not going to combat what this does because this is working 24 hours. I'm saying what's inside of it. A service tech, it wouldn't be cost effective to have a fish guy come out every single day to do water changes and battle it, and they would lose. You need, at some point, you need to call in reinforcements. Now that is historically shaking erythromycin into a tank. There's a lot of different treatments. This, however, I'm excited to use because, again, it's all ready to go. It's already kind of measured out.
Yep.
Tell me about some more of these ingredients.
So the same thing is, so we use pretty much a medication to go through to treat the cyanobacteria. So we always said it like that. The other issue is after you do that, because you're killing excess bacteria, you get kind of a diatom bloom afterwards. Anyone that's tried it, you get that brown phasing. So we got to help combat against that. So we go in with the scavenger resin to help pull that out. And then we also use a phosphate resin to help also combat that. So you're doing a double preparation versus buying this product, that product. Now I got to add this product where it's just an all-one.
How many days does that last in
I'd like to say this one here, you can use it often, but it's going to take care of it within the first week. You can leave it into the sump yet again for about a month. I like to definitely say after a month, but it's going to take care of the cyanobacteria within a week.
Real quick question, there's one that's popping in my head right now. Does it affect the skimmer?
Yes, it will affect the skimmer just like the other ones. So you got to keep that in mind, and you don't just want to turn off your skimmer. Anyone that's out there, you kind of want to get that out and get all those excess out to get that skimmer really working properly.
Yeah, so a lot of times, we'll have to do another follow-up water change, get a lot of the ingredients out of the sand bed, the gravel bed, get it out of the water column to kind of reset that skimmer and get it working again, because you don't want to leave that off, especially for a long period of time. We all know that takes out all the yucky number 2s, proteins.
Yeah.
So you need that, but then how cool is it that you can leave it in?
Yeah, exactly. So you can leave it in, and that's what the scavenger resin does, help pull that out so that skimmer is not going to last as long as it normally would.
Cool. And then real quick, any experience with just throwing it out there because it's a question that comes up? Copper.
No, we haven't had it. We haven't put anything. It will probably pull out copper.
Right.
It's definitely a possibility. Yeah.
Right,
so you're gonna put that inside. So if you're using it inside, like a QT tank, it's not something I would use in a QT tank because it is gonna help pull that out of there.
Awesome. Just wanted to throw that out there.
Nope.
Very cool. So this is for what size tank?
This is up to 60 gallons as well.
60. So all the units, I'm assuming, are kind of the theme here.
60.
They're built for 60-gallon tanks.
because that's the average. Because you either do up to 60, doesn't necessarily, so 30 to 60, and then you can go to like a 120 based on that.
Okay. So in the field, your guys are carrying what?
Which ones do we use in the field?
Yeah, which ones are you using in the field? Which one do you stand by?
We use the Pro line the most just because it's the same exact thing as the Max Out OG, except that when we have a phosphate gel to help reduce phosphates as well.
Awesome. Okay, very cool. Now, I think you had one other product.
We do. We have the Flying Style, and then the Coral Max, baby.
Coral Max. Okay. I like the packaging for starters. Tell me what is there's a lot of ways to feed coral around here. How do you use this?
We use it two ways. We broadcast feed and we target feed it. It is a powder formula. You mix it with your tank water. We mix it in a pump. And I really based on, I love LPS. So we really based on LPSs, and especially our service customers, a lot of them LPS, they love that flow, that movement to really get that great polyp extension. The other thing is too, we really base it on phytoplanktons, zooplanktons, and also have a good mix of spirulina to really give a different diversity versus other products. There's a lot of actually really good products out there, but if everyone's feeding their corals the same things. We want to switch it up. So if you're feeding this product, you can feed them this, and it's not the same product you're giving them.
So when you talked about target feeding, are you taking this and making it into a paste, or using a pipette? Like how
yeah,
are
so we'll make it into a paste and keep it, and like say if I'm doing, like I love plate corals, agonis, and really get them in, if you're not, let them go into it. But if you're in a rush, especially as a service tech, you got to get out and get it in. You can make a thing and broadcast feed the whole tank.
Awesome. So for your clients, are you giving them this to use?
Yeah, this is what we're using for our service clients.
Now just throwing it out there, what are you telling them? How much are you telling them to feed?
I only have them feed once a week as a service.
Nice.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yes. So I'm a big believer in this. Once a week is kind of a good rule, because generally we deal with a lot of offices, so they work in a week cycle. So if you can tell somebody a unit of measure once per week, fantastic. I think you're not going to get into trouble with a lot of products, but when you're dealing with someone who is a product that is actually designed by a service company, you're going to get those types of results, like where it's good advice, solid advice, not just trying to move a lot of product is the point. So the truth of the matter is, less is more. Using less, if you're trying to push your product, you'd say use it every other day. But as we know, that creates a big problem.
Yeah, especially if especially when you get into it as a service company, you're giving your customers, and they want to feed, they want to see those torches, they want to see everything open up, but then that excitement really gets them to overfeed the tank, and that goes into further problems.
Right.
And as a DIY person, that's okay because you're there every day to work on it. As a service guy, we want to be in there once a week. We have to make sure we can maintain it as well as we can.
So real quick for everyone following along at home or at your shop, your local fish store, how do we get these? If Tank It Easy in Chicago is like, Coral Max, I like it, I dig it, obviously I would call you. But for those of us that don't, so any of you out there that don't know the two of us, what do they do? Where do they go?
MaxOutAquatics.com.
MaxOutAquatics.com. Awesome. Scott, as always, pleasure. Thank you very much for taking the time. I was stoked to talk about it because it's designed with service in mind. So there's a lot of products that are just there to be sold, and that's interesting and good, and they want to make something great work. But if you're actually designing it for a service company, I think it's good for everyone, because less is more. If you're doing too much, as my partner Tom says, anything fast in an aquarium is bad. Nothing good happens quickly in an aquarium. So that's why we try to keep it all nice and steady. The Tank It Easy way. See you, brother.
Take it easy, Brian.
Thank you.